Good evening. What's up, guys? How you doing, CABC family? Producer Kev here. I know it's been a long week since we've been at you. We haven't been with you guys since Saturday of last week, and for that, I apologize. It's been a long week. We've had John out traveling, and I've been trying to keep everything going. Um, but we've slacked off this week, and for that we apologize. John's been on the road; he's been in Alabama all week, and so that's really why it's taken us so long to get here tonight. Like I said, sorry guys, and we'll do better. We'll do better with that. So we'll talk a lot of recruiting tonight. There's a lot to get to, especially as we're coming up to signing day on the 19th. There's still a lot of Bama targets out there, and let's get to it. I like to answer my stuff in the live chats as we go, but let's get to it tonight. We got tomorrow, the big one tomorrow. We got Kayvon Thibodeau announcing his commitment down between four schools, really: USC, Oregon, Alabama, Florida State, and Florida too. But I really don't think Florida's in it for Thibodeau. I really think it's a two-man race between Alabama and Oregon, with a side of Florida State trying to sneak in there and get it going. But I don't think there'll be anything significant out of the Florida State camp. I know Taggart went to go visit him for his last in-home visit on the 13th. Yesterday, no, 2 days. And so with that, I'm going to stay with my prediction that Thibodeau ends up at Oregon. We as a staff, we wrote an article. It's on the website. Most everybody picked Alabama except me, and one other writer chose Oregon. I just feel like he's more of an Oregon cat. I think he wants to play early, and I don't think that there's anybody you could take out of that outside rush position to replace for him. So I think he'd be a better fit at Oregon, and that's where I think the number 2 player in the 24/7 composite ends up at Oregon. So let's see. We got some stuff in the chat already. Who's more likely to commit, Sopsher or Dean? It's a good one. I think that there's been a lot of Georgia buzz with Nakobe, and there's been a lot of Alabama buzz with Sopsher here as of late. I think that more likely to commit right now would be probably Sopsher would be the more likely to commit to Alabama. But you got to remember, Sopsher's not an early sign guy, so that'll be interesting. Nakobe, I think, is leaning towards Georgia. I just think there's too much Georgia buzz as of late. I think Nakobe Dean ends up at Georgia. Since when does Nick Saban have time to do so much time on his hands to do live chats? I don't know, Toomer. I don't know, man. What's up with Trey Sanders and the Georgia talk? Also, a lot of Georgia talk coming out for Trey. It's been weird here lately. After his official visit, him and the other 2 IMG guys, Evan Neal and Nolan, who's committed to Georgia. There's been a lot of buzz out of his camp about Georgia. I still think that as of right now, I still think Trey Sanders ends up in the Alabama class, but there is a lot of buzz for Georgia right now. So I'm not willing to change my Trey Sanders prediction as of right now, but there is a lot of there's a lot of buzz for Georgia. KT to Bama. I just don't. I don't think so. I don't think so. It's a bluff. If you remember, a 5-star inside linebacker visited Bama, says best visit ever. He would love Bama. Blah blah blah. I went to UCLA. Yes, he did. So what's changed with Sanders? People are saying he's leaning towards Georgia. Yeah, I don't know what's happened. I don't know where it's been, where it's coming from, but I do know that he does like Georgia. But I still think right now, I'm not ready to change it. I'm not ready to change it yet. I think he ends up at Alabama, but there's a lot of buzz coming. Let's see. Does Battle flip us tonight? Everybody keeps talking about this. Everybody keeps talking about Jordan Battle flipping tonight. I've seen absolutely nothing on Jordan Battle flipping today. Guys, this kid's he's a South Florida kid. He's not just gonna commit, or he's not just gonna flip. There's gonna be a ceremony or some type of thing if he's gonna flip. I think Jordan Battle is a lot stronger to Ohio State than some people think, but there's rumors that he's supposed to flip tonight or something, but we haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything to support that, so I don't know on that one. Matt, should a 100% Jalen start against Oklahoma? Toomer, that's a good one. I don't think so. I think that from what I saw at practice today, I think Tua looks a lot further along than Jalen did at the same point of the same rehab. He looked a lot better today than Jalen looked when he went through the surgery. So I think Tua will be ready come Oklahoma. So McCoby's going to Georgia. Neal and Sanders are going to Bama. Yeah, I still think Evan Neal is probably my most solid out of the group. I would definitely be the most comfortable saying that that Evan Neal ends up in this class. Out of that group, definitely. Sanders would be second. And obviously, N'Kobe, I think, is going to Georgia. So, do you think Bama will land on Wednesday? Who do I think they will? Evan and Trey Sanders. If we get Dean, Henry T, Thibodeau to go along with Sopsher, we can declare a natty. There you go, Nick. That's pretty lofty dreams there. But Tua looked healthy in practice today. Yes, he did. I don't know if any of y'all have seen the videos, but he definitely looked a lot better than Jalen looked at the same point. I do agree with that. Do you feel like Neal and Sanders is a package deal? No, I don't think Neal and Sanders are a package deal. I would be even willing to say that Trey could land at Georgia as well, and but Neal is definitely, I think, a Bama commit. You have no confidence in Dean. I don't have. It's not that I don't have confidence in Dean. I just, from what I know and from what I've heard, I just think that N'Kobe is going to go to Georgia. I've heard things, but that's all on that. I I think he could end up at Bama, but I just think that right now the lean would be um, for Georgia. Yes, we do need linebackers. Any recruit updates on Jaden Hazelwood? Why is Bama not in on this kid? Pretty much because Jaden Hazelwood is a diva and has a lot of off the field baggage that comes with Jaden Hazelwood. He's down to hit. I wrote an article the other day. He's down to his top set of teams, and it's Florida State, Oklahoma, Miami, uh, Georgia, Tennessee, and I just think he ends up back in Georgia's class. But Hazelwood's he's a diva. I know he's had a lot of, I mean, not a lot, but he's had some issues on visits and stuff like that. And I don't think there's room. I don't think there's room for him in this class, to be honest. I don't think there's room for a second receiver as of right now. So I just don't think. I think that's kind of why you haven't seen Bama push for him. That's kind of why you haven't seen Bama push for George Pickens as well. John's been at the Bama Mississippi All-Star practices, and obviously he says that all of the Alabama targets have been performing very well. Alpha, Nakobe Dean's got an alpha of the day. He said Pickering looked good, the Mississippi commit that Bama was in for. There's a bunch of guys that he said has looked really good. George Pickens has looked really good this week, he said. Christian Williams, he said Christian Williams looked really good today in practice. He said he got the better of Pickens a couple times. Obviously, that's a big deal if you're a Bama fan. You like to see that out of Christian Williams. What do you think? Does Bama land running back DJ Williams? The DJ Williams is the Appalachian State commit from South Florida, at a Sebring High School, I believe. And I think that DJ Williams will be a good backup plan for if Alabama misses on Trey Sanders. Who do you think is the biggest story or most interesting story as signing day approaches? As we get closer and closer to signing day, the one that intrigues me, I'm telling you, it's Nakobe. Nakobe intrigues me so much because no one has a real bead on where this kid's leaning. Obviously, he's an academic kid. You're not going to have to worry about him academically. He holds a 4.0 GPA right now at Horn Lake in Mississippi. He had a legit Stanford offer, which is a big deal. And it's been said that if Stanford did early enroll, he probably would have gone to Stanford. But Stanford's on the weird trimesters, and they don't do early enroll. So, there's not a lot of clarity on this kid. So I think he's my biggest and most interesting guy as we approach signing day. And would Bama take DeAndre Glass over DJ Williams, or would it be who commits first? Those two are going to have to wait until they find out something with Trey Sanders, because you're not going to take either one of those guys over Trey. But I think if you were going to take one over the other, even though they haven't offered him yet, I would still say DJ Williams would be the one to take over DeAndre Glass. I think DeAndre Glass probably ends up at Oklahoma State. But he did say that Alabama leads coming off of his official visit. I just don't know if there's room for him. Once again, we're talking numbers. There's 24 commits right now, and you're talking about a 27 to a 28 spot class. So if you got some gray shirts in there, you could probably get another spot or two out in the class. But For the running backs, there's only going to be two, and if you miss on Trey, I think DJ Williams would be the better of the two to take over DeAndre Glass. Will Bama still finish with the number one class? I believe so. If they can land at least one to two of these guys that they're in it for, then I think for sure they end up with the number one class. Is there any risk of Dax flipping back to Michigan? I've seen people ask that, but I didn't even expect him to flip from Michigan in the first place. So I don't know with that kid. That'll be another one come signing day to see where he signs paper. Isn't Bama a little overstocked on defensive backs come next year? I don't think you can ever be too stocked on defensive backs, but I do think that there are a lot in the class right now. So I think that it depends on the Jordan Battle situation, which I think he probably stays right now. Maybe probably stays at Ohio State, but if he flips to Bama, then you're definitely done at defensive back, and you're probably going to lose one at defensive back then if you get Jordan Battle to commit. So there'll probably be one out the door if Jordan Battle commits. Is Darnell Wright Alabama lock, or will Pruitt snag him? I think Darnell Wright's going to Tennessee. Yeah. Tennessee, Ohio State are the two that are in it for him, but I think he goes to Tennessee, and Pruitt nabs another 5-star offensive lineman to go with Wanye Morris out of Grayson High School in Georgia. We don't need Battle. We have 3 safeties committed already. That's where it could get interesting. I think if Jordan Battle flips, then you could possibly see DeMarco Hellams become a receiver. I think that would be an option. He played a lot of receiver this year at his high school. Or there's also been the rumors that he could go with Loxley to Maryland. He's a DMV guy, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything. The last thing I heard was he was supposedly 100% committed to Alabama. So you could see him flip to offense as well because he's a good athlete. And then you got Dax at the other safety and Jordan. So you got 2 safeties and then possibly a flip to a receiver there. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Am I back? I'm going to assume that I'm back, so we'll just keep talking. The star, okay, he's back. All right, the stars and everything, like I said, it doesn't it doesn't mean that much. I mean, look, you had, Quentin Williams wasn't a 5-star. A bunch of these, there's a lot of these guys that aren't 5-stars that end up being very, very, very good players. So the number one class in the country, I don't really hold that much weight to it, but I do think they still finished number one. What do you know about Sopsher, Bama, or LSU? There's been a lot of Bama buzz. There's been a lot of Bama buzz lately. I know LSU probably still is in the driver's seat, but I've heard a lot of Bama buzz, so who knows? They could get him, and I think that he holds a spot no matter what. He definitely holds a spot. Did Talia commit? Talia's been committed. Let's see. What is the exact height of Talia? Talia is probably about 5'7", 5'8", to be honest. Talia has Kyler speed? No, he doesn't. Talia is a good runner, but he is not Kyler Murray fast at all. Not at all. Yeah, there you go, Toomer. There's another one. Josh Jacobs was a 3-star, and he's now one of the best running backs in college football. So, Talia's probably not 5'11". I'm telling you, Talia is between, in my opinion, Talia is between 5'8" and 5'10". So I know it was a joke, Nick. I know. But yes, he does. He is a good runner. We got to go with Bear Bryant's grandson. He's built like a real QB. Paul Tyson is big. He is a pro style quarterback that's gonna sit in the pocket, and he just hasn't been captivating to me this year. He's been a very solid quarterback, and Hewitt had a very good season. I think Hewitt kind of underperformed a little bit to the standards that they're looking for. But Paul Tyson is a good quarterback. I don't think he will see much playing time at Alabama, to be honest. I think he could possibly compete towards the end of his time in Tuscaloosa, but he'll be a project, and he'll be, he's a legacy. So obviously he's a take for Bama. He was a take for Bama. He's already at Bama right now. Him and Pierce Quick both are already at Bama, participating in bowl prep. So I do think that I don't think he's overrated, but I just don't know. I don't know when he would be a starter, to put it that way. I don't know when he would get his opportunity. So, Talia has a better arm than Tyson, in my opinion. Yes, Talia has a very good arm. His arm at the same point. This is just me talking. I've seen Talia at the opening regionals. I've seen him throw, and in my opinion, Talia's arm strength, not accuracy, but arm strength, is better at the same point as Tua's was. Just strictly arm strength. What can you do with our receivers at this stage? I mean, I think anybody could. I think anybody could do a lot of good things with Alabama's receivers. And yes, I do want to see Paul Tyson do good. He's a good kid. Um, he's the recruit that you want no matter what. He's gonna be a great guy in the locker room. He's gonna be great for your program. Obviously, he's a legacy. He doesn't like to talk about it, but he is a legacy. So, you know, that's what Paul Tyson brings you. Which early in role will make the biggest impact next year? Depends on who all ends up in the class, to be honest, DJ. There's a lot of guys that I feel like could make big impacts next year. And you might laugh at me when I say this, but the biggest impact could possibly be Will Reichard. John told me that he was watching him the other day and he was punting, and this kid's not even a punter. He's not even a punter, but he punts, and he was dropping 50-yard punts and making them die at the 5-yard line like it was his job. Obviously, and he hit from 50 in practice at the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. So I think Will Reichard could be the most impactful freshman that has a chance to compete. He said that Bama was going to let him compete for all 3 jobs: place kicking, field goals, and punting. So we'll see how that goes. And if he wins all 3, he could be the most impactful easily. So is Bama still recruiting DJ Ugalele? To my knowledge, yes. They have a 2020 quarterback committed, and at this moment, I am blanking on his name. Forgive me. 2020 quarterback from Jacksonville, Florida. He actually just won a state title here recently. Please forgive me because I forgot his name. But I will. Clark, yes, that's it. Kate, no, that's the tight end commit. Carson Beck, that's the one. Yep, Carson Beck from Mandarin High School in Jacksonville, Florida. He just won a state title this past week, or not this past weekend, but he won a state title here recently. And so he right now is a 2020 commit, but that doesn't mean that they're not recruiting DJ. DJ is the number 1 quarterback in the 2020 class out of St. John Bosco. There in California. So do not rule that kid out because he's a player. And he is big. And I think he's like 6. He's like 6'5", and he's solid too. So that would be interesting to see if he chooses Alabama as well. Who are the commits most likely to go to Maryland, if any? I would probably think the DMV guys. You got a good number of DMV guys right now. DeMarco Helms, Shane Lee, Darian Dalcourt. Those guys are all DMV guys. But I think that most of those guys have come out and said that they are they're locks. Keelan Robinson's also a DMV guy. but I think he's also come out and said he is a lock for, or not a lock, but he's solid to Bama as well. Who has a better chance to commit, Breeze or Savell Smalls? Brian Breeze is a very good football player. But I think that Breeze is interested in a lot of other schools. To be quite honest, so yeah, I mean that's a good one. That'd be interesting to see. I like Savell Smalls, but Breeze is a different cat. So we'll see. We'll see with those two. K Robinson is the rumor. Yeah, he would be the one that I would feel more likely would be the one to decommit at the moment. Yeah. So we've been John's been gone all week. Been down there, Mississippi, Alabama. The All-Star game. He'll be there. He'll be there for the weekend. And then the game's on Monday. Should be a good game. I know a lot of haven't seen the Nakobe Dean vid yet. No, I have not seen a Nakobe Dean. What Nakobe Dean vid? I'm not sure. I haven't seen any Nakobe Dean vid. But I do think that he ends up at Georgia. Do you think Bama needs an inside linebacker more than an outside linebacker? Yes, Bama needs an inside linebacker. Bama needs either Nakobe Dean or Henry To'oTo'o, and they need it big time. Who will win offense and defensive MVP in the Mississippi All-Star game? So John's been really impressed with Bo Nix for the Alabama team. He's an Auburn commit. He set the all-time yards and touchdown record in Alabama. He's been really impressed with that kid. As far as defensive, he said that the Mississippi defensive line is the best position group he's seen at an event in a really long time. So I think that one of those defensive line guys, he said Byron Young has been a monster. I forgot to talk about him earlier when we were talking about Bama targets. He said Byron Young has been a monster. He said Pickering's been really good. So, it'll be a good game. I think Mississippi probably wins because Alabama doesn't have a lot of their big name guys because they're already enrolled. Pierce Quick is already at Alabama, and Pierce Quick's already at Alabama, and Clay Webb is already at Georgia. So those are the two big names for it. There you go. That's a pretty good one. That's a good video. Appreciate you sending that to me. It's Nakobe Dean talking to an Alabama fan at the Alabama Mississippi All-Star game. So that's interesting. It adds a little wrinkle to it. If you want to go check it out, go look at CABC's. Go look at our Twitter account. I'll retweet it. If you want to, go ahead and look at it. That's pretty good. It's good stuff there. Don't sleep on Christian Harris. No, Christian Harris is good. I like Christian Harris. Um, he is an athlete. He is the kind of the new age linebacker. Um, so I think Christian Harris was a good pickup for Alabama. KT Neal going to Bama, Sanders Dean going to Georgia. I agree with that for the most part, except for KT going to Oregon, and then Sanders possibly going to Bama, but maybe going to Georgia. Um, so John said he was talking with um, George Pickens and said they were talking. He was talking about like the whip route and what was the hardest route for some of these DBs to cover. And Pickens happened to be walking by, and he said the hardest route to cover is George. So I thought that was pretty funny takeaway from that. Pickens obviously the Auburn commit, but I think that there could be a lot of shakeup in his recruitment. Obviously he is committed to Auburn, but he's not an early enroll. He's not an early signee, so there's going to be a lot of people pushing for him late. So we'll see. See, I keep like all these people keep saying KT is all Bama, but I don't know. I think if he goes to Bama, he'll end up transferring because he's not going to play right away. So who will be best out of Byron Young or Pickering? Man, they're both really good. But I think Byron Young, John was really, really impressed with Byron Young. And I saw some of the video that he put up of them doing one-on-ones, and Byron Young was doing some things that a big man should not be able to do. Very athletic, making very athletic moves from the defensive end position. So I think that Byron Young probably has a lot of upside when it comes to that. So will Bama keep him? I believe so. John Emery decommitted from UGA for a reason. Too much depth. Good point. And there's a lot of, and that's why for me, I just like, for me, it doesn't make sense. Thibodeau in Alabama doesn't make sense. You have a lot of guys at that position already, and I just don't think I just don't think they need an edge rusher in this class. They already have Kevin Harris, and they already have Justin Eboigbe, who's been flirting with every school possible. But I think, I just don't think they need Kayvon, to be honest. So that's just my opinion on it. I just don't think they need it. So, guys, again, sorry for the delay this week. Like I said, it's been super. We've just been we've been all over the place. John's been all over the place in Alabama, so we haven't been able to, with my work schedule and him working around the clock. We haven't been able to get together to do a show, and that's on us. So, who's the next corner to commit? I don't know. What do you think of all the Bama? What do you think of all the Bama fans this week who lost their ish over Trey Sanders? Okay, so all right, I have the one issue the one issue that I have is the one issue I have with Bama fans is how quickly Bama fans turn on a recruit. It's a decision that is what they want to hear. Um, like how every Bama fan, well, not every Bama fan, but a lot of Bama fans, as soon as Clay Webb committed to Georgia, Alabama fans were like, "Oh, Clay Webb's overrated." Blah blah blah. We didn't need him anyway. Blah blah blah. Like, okay, Clay Webb is not overrated at all, and he'll be a 3-year starter at Georgia, in my opinion, and he'll be an NFL player, so he's not overrated. But that's my one pet peeve is how quickly it turns like that. So, yeah. Bama wants an edge rusher in this class, though. They have it. They have edge rushers in this class. They're not getting Bogle. I don't think they're getting Thibodeau, and I think Smith is solid to Georgia. My opinions. Because like I said, I just don't think that. I just don't think Thibodeau fits in at Bama, to be honest. But that's gonna wrap it up for me tonight, guys. I actually have to get ready to go to work. So I appreciate you guys coming. Appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging out with me, talk a lot of recruiting. We talked a lot of recruiting tonight. And I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And I think that I think we're gonna try to be back tomorrow. Maybe not, but maybe. So we will try to be back tomorrow. Not gonna guarantee it, but we will try. Thank you guys for coming by. Follow us on social medias at CABC Pod on Twitter, Crimson and Blue Chips on Facebook, at CABC Pod on Instagram. Check out the website. We've kind of revamped it so it looks a lot better. We got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of recruiting articles. We're making a lot of predictions here as we get closer and closer to signing day. We're gonna try to get out. We'll get out a prediction every day. Go check out our Kayvon Thibodeau prediction. It's up there right now. And we will have more for you guys. CrimsonandBlueChips.com. Register for an account. That way you can comment on the comment and sign up for the newsletter and everything. And we'll be getting that going here pretty soon, guys. Also, we're doing a pick'em. If you haven't check the Twitter account. It's the pinned tweet. Click that link. It'll take you to the ESPN College Bowl pick'em. We're giving away a hat. I know a lot of you guys have been asking about hats. We're gonna give away a CABC hat for whoever wins the bowl pick'em. So go register for that, and you have a chance to win the hat. And then all that good stuff. So guys, appreciate you stopping by again. Can't thank you enough, especially when I do this stuff by myself. I stress myself out. But thank you guys for stopping by. CABC out.